You can see me. I got 2 arms and 2 hookups like that. One side to the other. The heart beeps, pumps the oil, brings it to the other side. Something to do with a system of some sort inside my body. But I'm not inside and I'm not a doctor and I don't think I'm going to look it up. But if you are a doctor, you probably already know. How come you're not sharing? Because it don't mean much if we know what's going on in our body. How our body works, sophistication of motors, movement. What if I just took away my arms and I did this? Wouldn't I be a fin? I'd be like a fish swimming with a fin. Have you ever looked at the fish? The whale has got his tail this way. But the fishy's got his tail this way. The whale and the fish, opposite directions, right in half. One goes slap, and the other is a fan tail. You ever see the goldfish with the 2 tails, the split, the fan tail? You know what we're going to do in this video? We're going to take a shave. Can't tell you what I did all day, but I was thinking all day, just like every other day. I was making sure I filled in all the holes with a space. We're going to space. What else did I want to talk about? You see this 888 over here? 8 this way, 8 this way, 8 this way. Well, I've got a new 8, okay? And I've got all kinds of stuff. I was thinking our bones and our body and how our body is put together. One side is the electric, the other side sends the electric. It doesn't need to pump this side, it pumps it into that way. It's like your windshield washers. You pump one over to this side and in between there's an Y. An Y means I'll take it from behind. That's what the Greeks say, and that's all the communication we have. Let's make fun of the Greeks. We'll do it from behind. We'll come up from behind. You don't like if we sneak up from behind, but you laugh at us if you come behind us, right? Look at all the Greeks, right? Is that the way you want to do it? Well, what about the Jew? He does it from the other side. You know why the Jew does it from the other side? Because when I read the 5 on this side of the paper, on this side of the paper comes out as 2. Because that's the way they read. They read from left to right. We read from left to right, but they're on the other side, so their left is our right, and our right is their left, and we're all gone together. So that's how we get it, and that's why in that thing over here, we close off both sides because we go both ways. We close off one here, we close off one here, we close off one here. Do you see inside of this what happens? This is half of a world right over here. This half of the world creates that 7. At the same time, inside it creates a 7, but it creates 7, 7, 7. It's a whiplash of 6 that touches the other whiplash of the other planet. You know, like cars going downtown, like we use it downtown, they call it the tramway with the electricity, and it touches the top. So it's always consistently, if it was spinning, it would always be touching something, so the current would always be going. Voila, the body. What we're going to go into next is how can you control the body? Voodoo, VOO 22 and 30 is 52. That is the number of man. Voodoo, D and O, or D and O, which is 4 and 15, is 19. 5 and 19, because it's in the E family of the S, which creates 5 and 19, because the E is before the S and E family. Create that as a 19 minus 4 will actually equal to your 15. But in reality, if the E is before, it would go E plus 19 because minus would make it on the other side. It'd be minus 14. That's where everything begins. Minus 14 plus 27 equals 41 on this side, which will be 41 on this side to 68. 78, 88, 95. That's where we are, 68, 95. Einstein, creation of man, the theory of relativity. So let your mind go and make relativity work with inside of your perception, and your better understanding of your own perception is the reality of everybody. So if you can perceive and understand everybody, then you have the reality of perception, seeing the difference and never going against, but always going with and for the grain and different to the grain, seeing both sides of every story, coming up with an individual story that shows all 3 sides, making the 2 stories of one story, of which his and hers made it your one story of all 3 stories together. Because you can always say what they said. They said this, he said that, he said this. This is what I see. Plus they have their own 2 stories and what they think of their 2 stories. So he sees his and has his story. He sees his and has his story. So therefore, just with them. Then I see his story, and his story is 5, 6. And he sees my story with his story. And he sees my story with his story. Art of acupuncture, reading the art and the acupuncture into your body, or the Poco, Al Capone. What did Al Capone do? He robbed the banks. What kind of banks did he run? We're running to Acapulco for Alcan aluminum and how the aluminum foil within our own mind. How does it work is my question. Poco, hey loco poco, coco loco. He's a little crazy in his head. How does the acupuncture come to talk to this story? Because every point you touch here will be felt where? What will be the feeling here? Where is the receptor? Where is the end receptors of everything that is here to make you have your feeling? And inside in Coco Loco is A and L, or LA, which is 1 and 3. The first level of 3 is C. But you want to bring it all the way to the second level is 1 and 12 is 13. LA, 1 and 1, 2. This will make 1 and 5. Okay? AL and EB in one cell makes Ebola. Breaking and entering, or Ebola, actually shows you the one side because it's B and B it should be. It should be B and B, and then the center of that B will create your 11. To have 1, 3 on this side, 1, 3 on that side, 11 in the middle, making the difference of 7 and 7 when it's 8 and 8, but you don't want to touch anything at all. E, okay? You don't want to touch anything at all at 11, right? So we're up at 11, 3, 5, it could be 2. Hold on a second, I'm thinking 3, 11, 5, 11, 11, 5, 11. This number in Ebola says Christ. Why? Because Christ is 77, 74, 151, or 47 times 74 Christ times the number of 33 of 2 worlds of 3 and 3 riding on 2. Don't look at the feet. Okay? Riding on 2. I got these moving. The feet got me marching, but these are moving. Okay? This one brings you 52 and 52. 5, okay, 3 levels, 6, 25, 6, 25, 5 and 2, 2, 4, 6, 2 on this side, 2 on that side, 2, 4, 6 in the center, 25,625 divided by 41 is 625, which is 5 times 5 times 5 times 5, which is the Mayan number, which runs 20 months of 20 days of 18 months of 480 hours, in which in all reality we should only have 320 hours, losing 160 every month for the light and the electronic machine. Instead of having 90 seconds within a minute, we now have minutes at 60 seconds. Because we need 90 seconds because the numbers go to 9. It shows up in the second ranking. Okay, it shows up in the second ranking, okay, that the seconds should go all the way to 9, because in the one column it's 52 seconds, 58 seconds. The minute you pass 56, you have gone into another realm. So it should either be 666, okay, which will be 369, which is 3 formations of time, okay. The total time would be 16 hours a day. The reason for P and H in the 8x8, 64 pieces in chest, is for this reality of 4 times 4 and 4 plus 4 is P and H equaling to X, and X is the time because X marks the spot that time stands on, and you're standing on the spot that makes time move within for you, because it only counts for you. So we ended up with that time I was telling you about, and why the Mayan time was 320 hours instead of 480, because the number 160 or 16 brings in the light. 0 equals 6, the difference. 6, 1, 6, 1. 1 and 6 is 7. 6 times 1 is 6, 13. 1 and 3 is 44. Space and time comes from 48. The amount of time missing is the same thing. 4 by 8, 4 plus 8 is 32. 32 and 12 is 44, the same number this creates, which is the distance of these two. Which now, if there were 3 circles over here, we'd be left with the apple core, which is the I connecting the 2, connecting the I in the world we live of the 2 worlds that we see, Pi and Yain. The total is 800, because the total of the totality is 800 plus the life you live, which eventually will say 1440. So in a 20-day period, okay, of 16 hours a day, there should be 320 hours. But there's a 6-hour missing for every single month, because 320 must end up at a 326. So what happens to those 6 hours? We might count it for the hand of time that spins the center of everything and its own circle. That value in a 20-month period In a 20-month period, you would get 20 times 6, you would get 120 hours, which will make 126, which will get you 126, which stands for Saturn. It'll get you 20 months of 6 hours. Because 120 makes 126. 216 is the doghouse. 1 and 2, the only thing missing is 3, 4, and 5. Okay, that is creation of the delta angle of E and E. 1 and 2 equals 3, 6. 6 plus 2 plus 1 is 9. 6 minus 2 minus 1 is 3. Minus 3 plus minus the 3 is 0. 6 and 3 is 12, making 6 and 6 islands. Why? Because you always add 6 plus 2, 6 plus 1, 6 plus 1, and 2 and 3 equals 12. 1 and 2 equals 3. So you'd have 1 and 2 on this side, 1 and 2 on that side. That's when you do that movement. Anyways, now, am I dressed? Yes, I'm dressed. You think I would do this naked? I don't think so. That's not legal on YouTube, right? So I wouldn't do it. Clean the carpet a little bit. What do you think? So what else can we do, eh? Little gray. You got to make sure I don't miss, eh? You know what's funny? I'm looking into the camera and, oh, it's sticking. It's sticking. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, the show is over. It's time to go do it in the proper place. I do not want hair all over my keyboard. Then I'll be doing things from outer space. Oh my God, if the smell got out, they would all know what I'm thinking. Thanks for watching.